We only have 7 days, only just about 7 days, 7 or 8 days away from the start of payments rolling out, and retirees and recipients on SSA could see a decrease in their payments if Congress does not determine how the program will be funded by the year 2037. And 2037 is actually a little bit of a long shot. I'll explain why in just a moment. And wealthy billionaire says that a big reckoning is coming, warns of population crisis. Ripple Labs, XRP, SEC, court case update, and major U.S. banks are lying to and overcharging customers, which seems to be their primary strategy. Folks, in just 7 days, retirees will receive the first of April's 3 Social Security retirement payments worth up to $4,555, as the first round of April's payments will go out on Wednesday, and that will be April 12th. And the payments will go to retirees born between the 1st and the 10th of a month. And the second wave for those born between the 11th and the 20th of a month will be receiving, or at least their payments will be released exactly 1 week later on April 19th. With the final wave, according to the Social Security Administration, being sent out on the 26th for those born after the 21st of a month. Now, the amount of money that each recipient gets depends on their age at retirement, with the highest payment of $4,555 per month going to eligible people who retired at the age of 70. Recipients who retired at the age of 67 receive a maximum check amount of $3,627, and anyone who retired at age 62 gets up to $2,572 according to the SSA. Now, these are drastically different figures, all pushing towards one main goal, one major request, and that is to wait. Now, it is important to note that the recipients could see a decrease in their payments if Congress does not determine how the program will be funded by the year 2037, which again is a long shot. Please stay tuned. Got a lot of information I want to share with you guys. And it says that with the actual date of the Social Security Trust Fund being depleted much sooner than that, and now slated for a few years earlier, now marked on their calendars for the year 2034. Discussions on the future of Social Security have occurred in Congress for years, and experts most recently warned that the program could be insolvent in just a matter of years if nothing is done. And there are expectations and warnings alarming future recipients that if funds are even available by that time, that by the time that they retire, that they will be cut to some 80% or more after the funding shortfall. Therefore, workers must plan accordingly. Plan, prepare, protect, folks. Remember what I've told you on previous videos: diversity, security, cash flow. Therefore, workers must plan on Social Security shortfalls when retirement planning, and this new report on Social Security has rattled some Americans, especially those in their 50s, when consulting their financial advisors, because they're saying that some folks are wondering how much in benefits they will actually get during retirement, and will it be enough? Comment down below if you're receiving Social Security benefits now. Are they enough? Because inflation and higher prices have pretty much taken over anywhere and everywhere you go, whatever you buy, necessities, needs, wants, goods, and or services, all going up in price. Meanwhile, borrowing money is becoming more expensive. Fixed income earners are probably going to be less qualified in the eyes of banks and underwriters for the ability to receive funding. Higher interest rates make it more expensive to pay back these borrowed funds. Charging on credit cards is a terrible idea, especially if you're on a fixed income. Meanwhile, the value of the dollar continues to be depleted, reduced, downgraded. If you guys haven't seen the live stream that Squirrel Tribe and I did last night regarding the Chinese yuan or won actually taking over as putting the US dollar second in line, maybe first runner up as far as the world's reserve currency. Major changes happening, folks. The consequences of the Social Security program's weakness and reserves projected to run out in 2023, at which point the program will be able to pay out just 77% of benefits to seniors, has many on edge, as many workers who plan to rely on Social Security for a major portion of retirement income fear the worst. And honestly, the biggest problem of it is that Congress, the Biden administration, the Social Security Administration, the U.S. Treasury, all parties involved have no meaningful plan moving forward, besides alarming folks that a shortfall is coming and the trust fund will be depleted. Ironically, the most suggested strategy by experts is one that almost seems counterintuitive. And that is that retirees who double down on Social Security and wait to get the biggest benefit that they can will have the best chance of receiving the most. Therefore, if someone has the flexibility to delay payments or benefits, then the increase that they would get by waiting is hard to match with any other source of traditional income. Now, if you guys want to go further into non-traditional income sources, especially when working towards developing multiple income streams, diverse income streams, passive income streams, and more importantly, retirement income, because retirement savings will be wiped out. Retirement income is going to be the key. By all means, comment down below, let me know. On your way down to the comment section, give the video a like, and if there's enough interest in the topic, I will be sure to make that video for you guys. Therefore, if someone has the flexibility to delay benefits, then the increases that they would get by waiting is hard to match with any other source of traditional income. And if you were to choose to delay getting benefits from your full retirement age, or FRA, which ranges from ages 66 to 70 years old, you can earn delayed retirement credits each year, which come to roughly an 8% per year annual increase in benefits for each year until the age of 70 when the credits stop accruing. However, this is all based on a long list of factors, assuming the program is still in existence, fully funded, and you are healthy enough to live long enough to maximize the benefits payout amount, and that they aren't altered between now and then with new legislation or signed executive orders. And it is almost hard to believe that time has moved so quickly. Think about it. It's almost like I've lost track. Honestly, it's almost like the days run together, but so much happens in such a short amount of time, but over long periods of time. Like it literally, it's almost like, you really can't even take a moment to catch your breath, come up for air. You just kind of treading water. But it has been 2 months since the balloon was shot down. Think about that. 2 months since the balloon was shot down. Yet the White House has chosen to leave the public in the dark about certain key details, or worse, mislead people about them. In the aftermath of the balloon's discovery above the U.S. and in the weeks following the shoot down just off the coast of South Carolina, U.S. officials led people to believe that although the balloon flew over sensitive military installations, any information it collected was of limited value. What does that mean? Does that mean that, are they saying that these military installations are worthless? Ironically, I was watching, I think it was Redacted. I think I was watching Redacted, and they were sharing information about how the United States is sending over military supplies. The U.S., the Biden administration has been supporting, financing, funding, almost a blank check, a unlimited line of credit, a government black card for the Ukraine to fund this war, for which Zelensky is probably making a lot of money off of. And they're sending over props, so to speak, of weapons, tanks, other military artillery that they're suggesting to the Ukrainian soldiers, fighters, don't put these on the front line. These are kind of just for show. Is that what our military has become? A facade, a show, stating that the balloon flying over these sensitive military installations didn't collect any information of limited value? Very, very concerning, folks, as we know that the enlistment numbers are on the decline. However, according to two senior U.S. officials and one former senior official in a report produced by NBC, the comments by the three officials seem to indicate that Washington believes the Chinese regime collected some intelligence beyond what it could have gotten via less invasive means like satellites, or maybe just spies on the ground, because they exist. Think about all the property, all the land that was being bought up by Chinese landowners and government and businesses around military installations up in the Midwest. Think about that. Remember that. Much like many other blunders and risks to the public and national security, these balloon incidents seem to have magically faded from public view. Funny how that seems to happen all too often, right? Meanwhile, the White House seems to think that it can move past this, shore up its relationships with Chinese officials, and allow Secretary of State Anthony Blinken to make the trip to Beijing that was canceled in the aftermath of the balloon's discovery. While they're over there, I hope they have a conversation and discussion about how the Chinese and Russia are moving away and around, shifting around the rules, the restrictions, the sanctions put in place by the U.S. to do whatever they want, whatever they see fit. I wish I could pull this comment up. I had a screenshot of a comment from one of the videos or live streams I did yesterday, but it basically said, China and Russia are doing exactly what they need to do based on the U.S. trying to control them with the dollar. They move away, which is ironic because that's essentially what they're trying to do to us with central bank digital currency. Will we move away? All the while, they're trying to destroy cryptocurrency, or at least regulate the crap out of it. Either way, folks, if you happen to bank with this major U.S. bank, U.S.-based Wall Street, too big to fail bank, then you might want to pay close attention, because it almost seems like their primary strategy is lying to and overcharging customers, according to Dealbreaker, as they shared. Whether you are a simple homeowner or a sophisticated investment banking client, it's just the way Wells does business. Asking people to tell them if you have heard this before, Wells Fargo lied to some customers, rewarded employees for ripping them off, and then lied to them again. Fool me once, shame on you. Well, of course you have. Well, unless, that is, you have been living under a rock. And now you're going to hear it again. As Wells Fargo told the commercial customers they were being charged certain fixed rates, but then incentivized salespeople to overcharge FX customers. According to the lawsuit, the bank then concealed the overcharges, and the government said that they gave false explanations for the inflated prices. But it almost seems as though regulators have given up on trying to teach Wells Fargo a lesson, because it seems like they just never seem to learn. So what is the point of a 10-figure fine? And it has become clear over the past decade that it does not matter how much or how often you fine Wells Fargo Bank, it will find new ways to break the rules while continuing to break the other rules it's already been taken to task over, and multiple times at that. Okay, so how about this? The Fed fined Wells Fargo $67.8 million, while the Office of Foreign Assets Control fined the bank $30 million for inadequate oversight of its compliance risks from 2010 to 2015. And in a release, OFAC said that Wells Fargo and its predecessors Wachovia Bank provided a European bank with software beginning in 2008 that allowed the firm to process 124 transactions involving sanctioned individuals or jurisdictions. A bank that is seemingly against all odds. Maybe China will start operating with Wells Fargo since they can find ways to skate around and skirt around these sanctions and jurisdictions. But a bank that is seemingly against all odds managed just 3 months ago to break its own already impressive record by agreeing to a $3.7 billion fine for continuing to screw over its customers after earlier, slightly smaller fines didn't quite seem to get the message across. But I guess if a $97.8 million levy didn't get their attention, then folks, what good is a $3.7 billion one going to do? Comment down below, let me know your thoughts. Tesla CEO and at one point in time, the world's richest man, billionaire Elon Musk warns of population crisis and says, and I quote, "Big reckoning coming." And the same man who has been encouraging the public to have more babies is back with concerns about a population collapse amid a falling birth rate. And in a tweet on Friday, Musk said that the U.S. would face consequences as a result of declining birth rates and that Japan is a leading indicator. But someone asked me just the other day, Kevin, how is it possible for Social Security retiree recipients to experience a shortfall based on their benefits that they worked hard for and paid into the system to be at risk of depletion? All the while, welfare recipients don't have to work a day in their lives and they get a blank check from the government. Possibly 2/3 of all Social Security Administration paycheck deductions get wasted in administrative processing fees, folks. And as the courtroom battle between Ripple Labs and the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, the SSA, continues to grab attention of the crypto community, as well as the rest of the world, a legal expert and court advisor for the blockchain company, John E. Deaton, shared an explanation of one of the most important legal terms referring to the case, as well as his views on the ruling deadline. Now, folks, I will be sure to drop a link down below for all of you who are interested in how this case is progressing and the possible verdict and game-changing decisions that could alter all of cryptocurrency as we know it, and the potential impacts it could have to the US dollar, and the likelihood of CBDC, central bank digital currency, taking over as the FedNow program goes live in just a few weeks. And ISO 20022 ramps up to connect private banks directly with central banks. Stay tuned, folks. Please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, comments, questions, concerns, 100% free links in the description down below. You guys take care, be safe, be kind to one another, and I'll see you guys real soon. Take care. Bye.